I have waited 2 whole years to test this driver. I have been waiting over 2 years to make this video, and only due to recent events do I now think it is the right time for me to start talking about this piece of equipment. The question is, was it worth the wait, or should you stick with what I've already previously said? Now, there's a big reason why I haven't reviewed this club until now, and the main reason being the price tag, and that's not necessarily a detriment to the driver, because it has been so well in demand in the second-hand market. It goes to show how many people are trying, testing, hitting, and then ultimately keeping this club in their golf bag, that the demand outweighs the supply. This is the first time I'm hitting this club since its release, and to be honest, I'm quite impressed. Now, you might have 2 questions. Number 1, how much is quite impressed actually worth? And we'll get onto that in a minute. Number 2, Simon, why are you chipping with a driver? It's because I brought 2 drivers out to test and completely forgot about the other 80% of this game. Get up. So let me explain the quite impressed element of my statement. Ball speed, distance, whatever you want to call it, there is no difference. You might have seen my video on the TaylorMade M6 versus the Stealth, and 3 years difference, carbon face, shafts, heads, etc. I basically got the same kind of level of distance, control, forgiveness from both head types. And that's one of the main reasons why you see me stop all kind of brand new club reviews altogether. No matter what a company brings out in 2022, 2023, 2024, unless the rules of golf change, very difficult for me to justify £499 upgrade to your golf bag when, let's be honest, the changes are so minuscule. Especially when this club here, even though I'm quite impressed, has to go against the Goliath. That is my £100 bargain value driver, the 917. Forgiveness, aesthetics, distance, look, appeal, shafts, you name it, this has got a lot of ground to make up. However, after a very recent release of all the videos you guys might have seen yesterday of the brand new Titleist TSR driver, the club I have in my hand could very much be dropping in price, or that could be good. And therefore, bridging the gap between value for club and actual advancements in technology. So massive shout out to the guys at Replay Golf for sourcing me this TSI driver, and until today I've never actually tried or hit, and I have to say, from the bits I've done on the range and the stuff out on the golf course, not necessarily great around the short game area, but that's not what it's designed for. But I'm excited, genuinely, as I've kind of grown in love with Titleist over the last couple of years in terms of value option, beginners, mid handicappers, low handicappers looking for a new toy. I've always put them towards Titleist 917, heavily underrated in the second-hand market, and for the level of tech that you're getting in the head and on the shaft, for me there really isn't a comparison that aesthetically looks as good as they do. So let me explain what I mean. TSI2, TSI3 that I have here. One, the player's head, the one I'm going to hit now, X-stiff shaft, 9-degree head, TSI3, player control, arguably what I should be aiming towards in terms of a custom fitted club for myself. If I went for a club fit, let's be honest, majority of club fitters would put me into this setup. We have a TSI2, more forgiving, arguably still very much built for what I need in my game, but a regular flex shaft, 10-degree, maybe a tiny bit too high lofted. If I was to find that TSI2 regular flex shaft, 10-degree, and I had a £500 budget to build a bag, I can tell you now, I would be buying that club tomorrow. Bit left, but that was well hit. 169, 289 carry. Not bad. And your dad would buy that driver, your nan should buy that driver, and to be honest, if you were to see it, you should buy that driver, because I'm a big fan of people just trying equipment. You might have the fastest club head speed in the world, but because it's £100, you could try it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. If it works, brilliant, because you've tested it on the best place in the planet, the golf course, which you can't do in a custom fitting centre. And guess what? You can double your money, sell it for £200, and then get something that you probably closer to your kind of specs. And that's why I like second-hand golf clubs. You go for a club fit, amazing club fit. Club sings to you, the right shaft, the right head, you swing it great, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. However, you play at 8 in the morning with your mates when it's 4 degrees and you haven't eaten. Your club head speed is slower by about 4 miles an hour, and maybe you're sore from all the driving you did the other day. Well, that is heavily out the hill. That's done all right, to be fair. Still not faster than anything else I've tried over the last 5 years, The point I'm trying to make is the longer you leave a club in terms of age from when it came out, the less money and less risk you're playing in buying that driver. You buy a 917 now for £100, play with it for 6 months, 3 months, 2 days, you're going to lose a tenner, because there'll be a good amount of people that'll be looking for that driver to also test for £100. You go and get fitted for a £450 driver. Hopefully it turns up within 3 months. So you've had 3 lessons. Or maybe you got bigger, or maybe you got smaller. Whatever it is, we're amateur golfers at the end of the day, and that driver now isn't suited to you. The problem is you lost a significant amount more money than a tenner when it comes to trading it. However, I should probably tell you why I really like this driver, and the upside with TaylorMade, Titleist and Ping, I would say specifically, if you were to get fitted for a TSR, it's a great experience. I highly recommend, if you've got the money, you've been playing this game for 5 years plus, you love your golf, go and get fitted. At least, don't even have to buy the driver, go for the experience. But if you were to buy that driver, especially the Titleist over the recent years, because they have a 2-year cycle, they do retain a good amount of value, hence why I haven't made this video until now. Now, after seeing all the numbers from those last few drives, we know it's not ball speed or club head speed. The reason that I quite favour this club is the discreetness, it's the confidence, it's the psychological aspect of both drivers, especially the TSI3. I never go for the smaller head. I never go for the more adjustability. It's always put me off because it just stands out like a sore thumb. However, I have to take my hat off to Titleist when it comes to that player's driver that has adjustability but merged into the back of the head so you don't know it. The sound is the perfect combination of the tin can, that is the G425, the wooden sound, which is the Stealth. The Titleist drivers sound perfect to my ears, and when I hit them, they sound hit. Doesn't sound like the club's going to fall apart in my hands, but at the same time I'm getting some element of feedback in terms of satisfaction of the noise that you don't get with the Stealth, because it's all carbon. And even though in 5 years we might be seeing all drivers made out of the same stuff and we don't have the same kind of tin sound, I'm just not ready for that kind of adjustment yet, just like I'm sure a lot of you guys want to hear an engine in a car and not the hum of an electric. That statement definitely would add more impact if I would have made the green with that shot. To put it simply, I can understand the demand and hype that the Titleist TSI range has had from the club face, which is, to be honest, very similar to the Rogue ST, with the fine imprint of texture across the face that just screams elegance and expensive, let's be honest. But for the first time in many years, I've actually found a player's driver, the smaller head, the more controlled aspect element of the game, that I think I would be able to put in the bag, because I don't feel I'm losing that massive element of forgiveness that I used to get for, let's say, the 917 D2 range. However, we're still talking fine margins, and I could very well go and play a very good decent round of golf with the 917 for £100 and not see the slightest bit of difference over 18 holes between that and potentially one of these TSI drivers. And that's why I like the second-hand market, because if I want to make that choice, we're talking a question of £100 upgrade opposed to £300. Now you might be wondering after watching this video, Simon, has there been any advancements in club head speed, ball speed over recent years? And if there's any club that's come out to justify and say that they've reinvented the wheel, it's the Stealth. And I tested it against the M6 in this video up here on the right hand side. Catch you guys there.